Monetizing cinema advertising. Abhi, picture bakhi hai mere dost. So coming on right now, we have the speaker who's going to tell us about exactly that topic. Who do we have with us? The managing director of Cinepolis. Please welcome on the stage, Mr. Devang Sampat. A loud round of applause. Welcome. Join us on stage. Wonderful to have you here. Let the applause come, everybody. Whenever you put your hands together, kind of energizes you. So put your hands together. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
All right. Hi. Good evening, everyone. So yes, first of all, a big thanks to Mr. Jagdeep Kapoor for including cinema, not only inviting us, but including cinema as a part of this conference. It's a very prestigious platform to be in, and we've always believed that cinema is part of, the out-of-home uh, division, and thank you for giving us that opportunity. So having said that, let me quickly run through about you know how we decided to quickly give a snapshot on rebooting the advertising and not getting into too much technicality of what we've already learned in the previous sessions. We did capture few of the pointers, which I would say first started with Mr. Bharat, who I have already captured as a part of a innovator of an Amul campaign. We do we do have some quick reboot to go with how this entire advertising piece has gone. So let me begin with a quick note of history, and let if you guys can join me in the journey. Do you guys know how the oldest advertising looked like? I mean, while I was trying to prepare this presentation, many of you might be quite familiar since I was not addressing this to a cinema fraternity, but for the advertising fraternity, and I'm sure many of you might be aware about it. But let me give you a glance. This is how the oldest advertising looked like. Uh, Anyone familiar with this? No. All right. So it was for a runway slave in 3000 BC, way back. The the content looks like this is basically the man slave Shem having run away from his good master Hapu, the weaver, and they were in look for him, and that's how this advertising looked like. And again, like I said, it way back in 3000 BC. Technically, uh, it was more like a poster. The advertising was non-existent until 1400. The first printing press uh, started in 1450 back in Germany, and the initial development of paper was in China. So since then, the print advertising has been the king around the world. Few of the advertising at the initial stages in 1900 centuries were looking like this. Even in India, like we were hearing from the creator of Amul advertising himself in the morning, the the humor looked like this, and the way they turned around with every changing week is something which was remarkable. And we thought of putting this together with the context of what is related with cinemas. So this is how the innovation started. The evaluation has since been continued, whether the paper on 1400, radio which started in 1900, or the television in 1950, digital platform in 2000, and going onwards. What is interesting to note is completing the media mix happens when you add cinemas to it. So the whole idea of putting this four medium together, we always see that we are not competing with any of the space, but the cinema as a medium, they do complement the running campaigns which are already there in different form of advertising. It captivates the viewers on the big screen. It's immersive, high impact storytelling. And just before we go, and before I get into even before specific to cinemas, there are this media, as we know, that creates a high impact. It's difficult. It's still currently in India, it's way unorganized. We have about 9,000 screens, and I want to take a pause to tell you a quick story. When we Cinepolis entered India like 2 decades back, and then when we were talking about the number of screen in India was about 9,000 screens. My colleague already spoke about too many number of screens are not good, but those 9,000 screen, it's time now, this time it's not 10,000, it's 9,000. And those 9,000 screens that we spoke about still remains 9,000. And even after 20 years, the number of cinema screens are still 9,000. And ironically is one of the lowest number of screen count that we have seen in the world on per million population. So a matured country like US, UK, where you have 134 screen per million population, we have in India it's 8. So the potential to grow, believe in the medium, believe in the business model, and we do see that there is a great potential in India. And let me quickly also give you a snapshot of who Cinepolis is.
Hello, cinephiles.
Cinepolis. Cinepolis. Cinepolis.
World class cinema.
World class cinema.
देखकर तो देखो.
Welcome to Cinépolis, where we believe in building trust with customers in association with iconic stars in the film industry. At Cinépolis, our core belief is in nurturing a bond with our valued patrons. We're proud to announce that Cinépolis has been the multiplex partner for over 100 movies and a total of 81 unique star invitations, personally extended by these stars. Each reflects our deep commitment to bringing diverse and vibrant cinematic experiences to our customers. So let's step into the world of Cinépolis, where every visit is more than just watching a movie. It's an experience, a memory, a moment to be treasured. We can't wait to welcome you.
Right. So that's just a quick glimpse on who we are. The irony is, despite all the evolution, and we've been seeing this cinema business for over years, uh, the challenges, they still refuse to take an intermission. And unlike any other medium, this media continues to face the same challenge. And of course, the number one being budget versus the brief gap. As we've always seen that the brief from client is what we get like a line. But of course, this is how, when we zoom into the budget, that's how it looks like. The ROI mystery, it's hard to swallow the pills. Yes, okay. But what's the ROI? And of course, those delayed payments from client is where we face the same issue. So I guess for any medium and uh, in any of the advertising space, there are the three challenges that we continue to spend our time on the boardroom. and since 84 years, yes. In short, we all know the cycle. The brief evolves, the budget shrinks, the ROI gets blurry, payment takes the scenic route, and the revolving continues. So what remains constant is the impact. We know that cinema medium is creating impact, is something that keeps us engaged. It keeps us up to date. I don't know if how many of you have heard about Sayyara? Anyone in the room heard about Sayyara? Right, I see few hands, maybe like 3% of the hand. And today, that movie released from director Mohit Suri, and that movie is going to open with the biggest collection in the history of a debutant movie actor, which, by the way, even till last Monday, meaning today we are on Friday, Even on Monday when we were reviewing this information, I wasn't aware about it. So it was shocking. It was shocking that this movie is going to open with about 20 crore rupees of opening. Non-star cast film, of course, well-known director Mohit Suri, but in the times like this, it is changing so fast. No traditional medium was taken for advertising. Full focus on, their music which got hit, and it connected so well with youth. We don't know which and from where audiences are coming to the cinema halls. Cinema halls in Patna, the shows were full at 7 o'clock in the morning, and we had to open tonight the show at 12 o'clock in the midnight. So the medium is so unpredictable, and we don't know which movies will draw audience. And I thought Sayara was a great example for today's release. Let me move on with, that perception precisely, because wherever I go for many conferences that I, attend, especially with my retail communities, and now, what used to happen in retail when I go for any of the retail forums is that all the retailers would eagerly wait for has cinema taken for fit out in the mall. In the mall, when we start fit out, it takes like at least 180 days for us, 120 days of construction, and another 60 days of all the licensing that we go through. So they all, we are surrounded with all the other retailers that, all right, are you guys starting the fit out? And then when we say that, yes, we are, then, they start their planning, because they normally take 60 days. Other vanilla and anchor shops, they take 60 to 90 days to finish their fit out, whereas cinema takes 180 days. So for mall to get filled, when and how soon the cinema is taking over for fit out is key for them. And that's the perception that we had created, right? And now when I speak to this fraternity, and then my advertising team sitting here, or the the agency partners, they say, every time we go to the client, they say that, now people watch movies on OTT. Who comes back to the cinema? Who's going to the cinema hall? And do perception create an impact? Answer is, we believe so. Currently, the perception about cinema is that, apart from the Sayara reason that I gave, the perception is no one goes to the movie. They all watch at home. And audiences are not coming back to the theaters. And, why should we advertise in cinema halls? That's the perception. And as we say, that perception is reality. And many of the advertisers do shy away from, coming back to the cinema. I wanted to put the reality in check. It's true that we've lost 15% of our audiences which were coming before COVID. And just to put, again, things in perspective, every screens that we had opened in India were generating about 115,000 admission every year. Whether it was a year of a Three Idiot, whether it was a year of a Bahubali 2, whether it was a year of Avengers, whether you take plus minus, every single year we had generated about 115,000 people, and every screen on an annual basis. And now that number is down to 100,000. Now, there are two ways to look at it. We can always say that, people have stopped coming to the cinema hall. But then, actually speaking, if 100,000 people are still coming, is it a good medium to tap on? Is it a good place to be visible for? And then, if those are the filtered 100,000 people, why don't we capture it there? The fact still remains that 100,000 that I spoke about is 2 times any other matured country generates the footfall. So every screen that we generate 100,000, country like including China or US, they don't even generate half of it. And we operate in 18 countries, so we have first-hand data. No one generates that kind of eyeballs that India is still generating. The number of content, as we know that we may be largely under screen, but then we still have about, is that bell for me? No. So we still have about 1,250 titles that we release every year. Practically speaking, then what we are talking about is 25 new content that we release fresh every single week. and which is 15% higher than 2019, by the way. The audiences are eagerly waiting for the regular good content. If the content is good, if it is marketed well, if it is positioned well, they do perform. Hence, we saw that 3 of the movies have not only set the new benchmark, but it has collected almost 35% more revenues than pre-pandemic for a comparable blockbuster films. And even when the content that people are not connecting with, and then we re-release some of the few older contents or the release content like Tumbad or Rockstar or Laila Majnu, many of them have collected 7 times more collection than it had seen in the first time in their fresh release. So, with the strong content lying ahead of us, which is what we've seen, we're becoming more organized. Initially, again, I briefly touched upon that Cinepolis comes from the land of Mexico, and the promoters and the shareholders are still in Mexico. And they have started planning their budget for 2026. We follow calendar year, so budgets for 2026, uh, now, and we'll be locking in by August. Sign off of budget happens in August. And when I go and tell them, all right, but I don't even know that which movie is going to release in October this year, forget about, budget of next year. The good news is that it is becoming more organized. We already know that one of the most expensive movie directed by Nitish Tiwari and produced by Namit Manotra, which is going to release next Diwali, they've already announced the date today. And now they are going in the strategy of releasing those content not only with a fixed date, but also started marketing year in advance. So that's something which is a good news. It's going to becoming more organized, and the content flow looks quite interesting and promising. The conclusion from my presentation is the silver screen still holds the golden power. It's not just advertising, it's immersive, it's emotion, it's memories, and more importantly, it complements all the other medium that we plan for. And that's about it from my time. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate you joining us right here. We're going to now go ahead and invite onto stage Mr. Pranay Shah from Kushi Advertising joins us on stage. Thank you so much.
First of all, thank you, OAC, for including cinema first time in this platform. Thank you. Devang bhai, thank you. Maximum questions are जो भी आए हैं क्वेश्चंस मैक्सिमम वो OTT वर्सेस सिनेमा के ऊपर आए हुए हैं कि OTT आने से सिनेमा पे क्या इफेक्ट है. सो मतलब 70% से ज़्यादा क्वेश्चंस वही है
Wow.
कि OTT आने पे आपका मतलब क्या इफेक्ट हुआ है और OTT आने से सिनेमा एडवर्टाइजिंग. सो I think we are the one of partner of Cinepolis, and we are also facing लोग ऐसा समझते हैं कि कोविड के बाद सिनेमा में कोई आता ही नहीं है. तो मैक्सिमम क्वेश्चंस वही है. प्लीज आपने थोड़ा तो आंसर दे ही दिया था आपकी स्पीच में.
Right.
But
now you're being humble by saying you're one of the partner. Is one of the biggest partner that we have for drawing the advertising revenues. So thank you for that, Pranay. Well, OTT versus cinema is been like a topic for now really long time, and in many forums I have categorically mentioned it's not OTT versus cinema, it's OTT and cinema halls. So it's something that is going to coexist. It's something that we want them to coexist. It's something that we believe that the combination of revenues coming from both OTT and from cinema going to the producer's kitty is making the life larger than life, making the movies larger than life. Let me give you one quick example, actually, just so as we all can relate. When we were talking about KGF, KGF, the first part from Yash, from Hombale Films, released only in the Kannada version, and then once they got traction in 2018, they said, okay, no, let me release this movie also in Hindi. They did. And even during the COVID years, people were not aware about who Yash is. The long hair guy. I mean, something that Rocky Bhai was known to maybe even 1% of India population. But then in COVID, people started watching movies on OTT. They finished all their quota on, what is the Hindi content left. So then the guys from South were coming to North, as they call it. North is rest of South. And then in the Bollywood language, they call it from North. And then we saw what happened with KGF 2. KGF 2 became KGF 2 at cinema hall only because of OTT. So I just wanted to, reinforce this, that it's definitely not competing. We've already presented the data saying that people are already coming back to the cinema hall. Yes, there are impact of 15%, and during, the research time that we did, we've had projected that there will be an impact of 15% for first few years, and then gradually, once we start adapting to what customer wants, and we saw a movie like Animal releasing, and movie like Animal with A-rated film crossing 500 crore at Indian box office alone, which the previous highest collection for adult rated film was 300 crore. So the movies are becoming bigger, product values are becoming bigger, and that's thanks to the revenue that producers are generating from all the platforms, all the revenue stream. And if all those revenue streams are respected with the windows like we have for cinemas now we have like 8 weeks window for movies exclusively on cinema hall. People are appreciating that. OTT, in fact, OTT operator themselves, they say that out of 1250 movies which were released in cinema hall, they don't want their movies to come directly to OTT. When they go to the cinema hall and their banners are placed at 9,000 screens facade, their marketing becomes even bigger. So it's definitely not a competition. It complements the business. Movie like Ramayana, Kalki, where producers are placing their big bet on increasing the production value, is only happening because of the complementing business and because of the revenue stream that producers are exploring. So it's an important question, difficult to answer, but whatever platform I get this question, I try to elaborate it a little more. It's no more now only Salman Khan is, standing with his big face or sunglasses behind or front. No, now it's not the actor driven. It's people wants to know who's the director behind it, who's the story writer, and all of these are possible only because of the partners that we have with us, which is OTT, to generate revenues for producers. So I hope that answers.
So we've got 2 minutes and 2 questions.
Right.
So, very interesting question from Mr. Yuvraj Agrawal, Lakshya Media Limited. With every ticket booked online, you know age, zip code, and movie taste. How do you balance smarter audience targeting for advertisers without spooking customers who already feel Netflix is tracking their popcorn flavor?
Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, so I mean, again, this is something which we strongly believe in Cinepolis at. We were the first one to launch loyalty program for cinema hall. We're the first one to, not only gather data but also help producer to market their films for, data that we have. We exactly know which genre of movie they like, what actors they want to go for. So all the databases are there, and that database, with the help of the software that we use, we are able to target it. Yes, Pranay, I think she already
And
communicated.
the
We have
last
45
question,
seconds.
sir.
What innovative formats could redefine cinema advertising in the future?
Well, format is something which will continue to, uh, drive audiences. This is something which is for a selected uh, movies. I would say the movie going is an weekly, fortnightly, monthly habit. Those formats are important. Those formats are something which some audiences they prefer, and uh, it's meant for them. Unfortunately, in India currently, those formats are too expensive, and the return on investment for those formats are not worth investing for. Having said that, we do see that interactive movies. We've seen the big craze of F1 at IMAX. I mean, we've been running F1 in IMAX and with no shows going less than 90%, which is something unheard of, and at the time where the occupancy levels are really down. So the formats are going to remain. Formats are going to remain as an alternate medium. It will continue to draw about 10% of the footfalls overall, but the mainstream cinemas will continue to take the charge, and that's what I think will continue to happen. It's not only about effects and uh, the actions that will drive, but the storytelling, and that storytelling will continue to remain even without the format.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right,
And I
and the
need to
winning questions are now, that's the exciting bit.
I think the format question is what I will pick. I think it was something which was really good on formats, which we all believe that format is the one which is going to take over, which I don't deny for. So I don't know who asked that question, Pranay. The format question was from whom? From Yuvraj Agrawal? Yes. So Yuvraj Agrawal is here in the town? All right.
Yuvraj Agarwal, join us on
All
stage.
right.
Congratulations. Let's have the check, please. Congratulations. Yuvraj, good question. Gets a great prize.
Congratulations.
10,000 rupees MSMA. Thank you so much. Everybody,
thank you
join
very
us, join us, join us. And we've got a memento as well. Can we please have the memento being brought on? We request Mr. Pranay Shah to do us the honors and present this memento to Mr. Devang Sampat. Thank you for joining us on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Thank you so much, Mr. Devang Sampat. Thank you for your time, your presence this afternoon. What an interesting topic it was. It was like going to the movies. Thank you.